Okay. So lots taking place. We know the weather itself is just a little bit of craziness, but that's to be expected. And from what I'm understanding, that will pretty much continue to be going on. It obviously stirs up the atmosphere, but the thing that we don't recognize as humans that we're actually contributing to it. That a lot of the stormy weather isn't just artificially made, it's actually man-made. Well, we've been describing the two as the same thing, that artificial is man-made. Well, yes, but so is our own personal emotional self. We contribute energetically and frequency-wise to the local atmosphere, the weather, the vibration, the frequency of what's going on. So the more we learn to stabilize within ourselves, the more we learn how to stabilize stormy seas or stormy weather. And yeah, start and pay attention to even just going out and taking a few minutes and look at the clouds and then intentionally set your vision on it and just say, okay, I want this part of the cloud to move back over there and this to move over here. Simple, something simple. And start and recognize the connection that you have to the power within that has the ability to change the environment, to change what's going on around you based on the changes you're making within you. So yeah, yeah, we're little weather makers too. I can remember one time heading to a concert at Canada's Wonderland, and we rarely do anything like that, but we had been gifted with tickets, so we went. And as we were driving towards it, we could see these big black clouds gathering, and they were calling for thunder showers and, severe weather. But we went anyway. And as we're kind of driving along, I'm talking to Mother Nature and saying, I don't get out very often, and I'm really looking forward to this. Could you just hold off on what is going to happen until after the concert is over? So it started to sprinkle rain a little bit on our windshield. And the further along we went, the sprinkling stopped, but we looked around and you could see it was pouring everywhere else. And the closer we got to Canada's Wonderland, there was this open sky straight above it. And I think the concert was 2 hours. And we arrived, we were dry. We watched the concert because it's outdoors where we were dry. We climbed into our vehicles to drive home. And, we got just a little bit of a distance away from the event and down it came. So it's like, talk to Mother Nature. She's on your side. She's there the same way you have, the interconnection to creative father and the empowerment of self. You also have a connection to Mother Nature, and she wants to help us. She wants us to play with her because it seems that we are so afraid of our power that we don't want to use it. So she's suggesting and inviting and encouraging us to start and play with it. Simple things, moving clouds, making it rain, stopping the rain. If you don't have time to water your garden, Mother Nature, could you please, give us enough rain for the gardens today? Things like that. So, yeah, go ahead, Nazarene.
Yeah. Oh, I'm unmuted. Great. Um, I I wanted to share something similar that had happened some years back with me, but and you rightly said it actually scared me. We were going to Grand Bend with a bunch of friends who had never been to Grand Bend, and I was raving about it, and they said, "Okay, we'll take you up on it. Let's go." So we were all going to Grand Bend, and then we were planning to watch the sunset and everything. And then there were big, huge clouds, while we are driving there, and rains in the actually thunderstorm in the forecast. And I'm going, oh my God, these people have never been there. I want them to see the beauty and see how lovely it is there. And they won't be able to see any of that. And I was like, this is not right. And I feel bad for them because I've already experienced it and I know how pretty it is. So I just looked at the clouds and I said, oh, can you move? You move this side, you move that side. We just want some sunlight. And as we parked there in the parking lot, suddenly all the clouds disappeared, and it was bright sunlight, and everybody had such a great day. And one of the friends, like his, the wife told me, like, another one said, "Oh, it's suddenly become so lovely." Another one said, "Ah, Nasreen, you must have done that." And that's when I suddenly realized, oh shit, I did. So,
Mhm.
and then I got scared. I said, if I can do this, then if the clouds went away from here, did it create havoc somewhere else where it was not supposed to? And I got really scared. And I said, I'm never doing this ever again. So
And
I
yet it
don't,
was such a gift and a beautiful thing. So, we get introduced in a very gentle way. And that's why I say Mother Nature is inviting us to play.
Mm.
And
Okay.
that doesn't mean that we have to jump up and, calm the waters or part the seas. We'll work up to that. But it is being able to recognize there are simple gifts and blessings that can come from the garden world, the fairies, the gnomes, just the very essence of the plants and the trees. This is our home, and they share our home with us. And on a cellular level, we're no different. Yes,
so
we have
is
cognitive thinking
that
and we're able
okay?
to articulate it, but nature is speaking too, and it's just that we're not listening.
Okay.
So it was okay for me to do that. Like then I really
Absolutely.
got scared. I said, like, I'm probably made the clouds go somewhere else and created a flood somewhere, and I got really scared.
Scared of what?
Scared of creating something bad for somebody else just because I wanted my friends to have a good time.
Okay, that
Mhm.
is probably a past life belief coming up. And you'll find right now that this is really a common event that's taking place almost moment to moment, where the thoughts that we have and the feelings that we have inside that we are not enjoying, we're not loving, we're not accepting, they are coming up time and time again. So pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your feelings. And if it's something that has to do with your power, or has to do with fear, or has to do with judgment, it's coming up because it's time for you to allow it to release. Let it come up. Bring it into your awareness, bring it into your heart center. Give it the biggest hug that you can and saying, "Wow, I've held you for a long time. I think it's time I set you free." And just, release it and understand that there's a time and a season when we need to hold on and withhold within. And then there's a season when we have to clear it all out. And we are definitely at the time to clear it out season. So yeah, pay attention.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh Catherine, and then we'll go to Mary.
I have to say I've been pretty blessed because I know that I can control the weather. I've known for years. Um, I also know that when there's too many chemtrails above me, I can concentrate and disperse them. So I know that as well. And last summer I was graced with seeing a fairy twice.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So big, beautiful white fairy
Uh,
on my street. So I was very, very grateful for that. So I know that they're here. They bless my gardens. And it might be scary at first when you learn you can do these things, but just like anything else, when you realize you can do it for the first time, if you were scared to do it and then you do it, you're like, oh my God, I
mhm.
did it. But
Yeah.
I think part of it too, even as a Reiki master there in Israel, things that we can do that they don't teach you when you go for your course. They don't really teach you about animal Reiki. They don't really teach you about being able to throw energy, stuff like that. So when you learn you can do those things, it's kind of freaky at first, but with a good heart, you know you're not going to do anything to hurt anybody else. So
Yeah.
that's what I have to say.
Thanks, Catherine. Okay, Mary.
Oh, as you know, we're camping and we're in our little tin can, and there's tornado warnings, and the radar is showing these horrific storms, and my sister is sending me warnings. And I said to Mike, I don't know what to do. And he goes, well, do we go? Do we stay? But we're going to be driving through these torrential rains. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna do the finger test. And it said, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just trust you will be okay.
Yeah.
So we decided to stay. and it was a nothing burger. I mean, it rained a little bit. I'm looking at the radar. This is how weird it was. I'm showing Mike the radar right now, and we're supposed to be in the midst of this horrific storm. My friend is writing me saying she's in the middle of it, and we're sitting in front of a camp and the sun's out here.
Yeah.
But the radar is showing that we're right in a big storm. And I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful.
Well, that's how much we are protected. And with the heart light that we hold and that we carry and how we serve, it also, I call it the God card, where, you can use that card for forgiveness. You can use it for changing the weather. You can use it for anything you want if it is loving. And if it is about blessing, and obviously protection is blessing your own sanctuary that you're in. We won't call it a tin can, we'll call it a sanctuary. And it's obviously a very safe place for you to be. So your neighbors should be incredibly grateful if they only knew.
Oh, the people in tents.
Mhm.
There was a little bit of rain and a little bit of thunder, but it just blew over very quickly and the sun came out.
Oh.
And this trip, there's animals everywhere. This morning, we were 10 feet away from a bear. And it was like they're all coming in to say hello. It's just amazing.
Well, that's what, the message being Mother Nature is asking us to play. There's a lot going on in the world that would suggest we should be doing anything else but in order to balance that and harmonize that and bring peace to the world, just playing with the energies in a loving way, in a kind way, in a gentle way, is the other side of the pendulum. So for those of you who have been in the pendulum energy, which has been going now ever stronger each and every week, but since January, it's been pretty intense. That's the best way we could describe it energetically. So the pendulum is the old energy of the matrix, which is right and wrong, good and bad, up and down, and everyone has been tied to it since literally time began when it was invented. So what we're seeing now is that it's much more rapid, where you're in and out of things much more quickly than ever before. You can have a thought and it just takes you out, and then in the next moment, your emotions are coming up and they're releasing. This is all a good thing. Let's call it a blessing when you're being triggered. I know we don't like it, and I know we get discouraged or we get stressed out when we're getting the pendulum moment, but here's what's actually happening. The pendulum used to swing very slowly, and it would take months and years and decades for things to happen. And then it came down to months and weeks and days. Now we're down to within a day, it's minutes and hours. When it actually gets to the moment that your soul is willing to surrender and set yourself free, the pendulum actually goes from that movement of back and forth and moves into the continuum. What is a continuum? The continuum is a very gentle circle that rises higher and higher each time. It never goes back to where you were. It never goes back and reminds you of, what happened or what you did or what you said or how you felt. It simply continues to nurture and elevate you and rising higher and higher. So you're breaking out of the pendulum, which is the matrix, into the continuum, which is always finding a better way, a more loving way, a kinder way, a gentler way, a more peaceful way to address those things that used to be the triggers of trauma drama. And a lot of people are finding that those trauma drama moments are fewer and further between, but they're more intense when it happens. So it's recognizing when you're in it, when you're activated into it, when you're triggered into it. The first thing that you can help yourself with is just identify, oh, I'm just releasing part of my old ways. It doesn't mean that anything more than that. I'm just releasing part of my old ways. And the moment you make peace with it and you surrender to the idea that life could be much better than that, all of a sudden it is. And you're in the flow and you're in the energy that lifts and elevates and supports a better way to be. So, yeah, we're going to use some tools in our journey today to help us quickly identify when we're in those moments. So, we touched a little bit on it, I believe, last week, but the very basic fundamental is that what we know and how we feel manifests what happens. The male and the female. The male is the thought, female is the feeling, outcome, or the child, the creation, is a combination or the culmination of what you thought and how you felt. So think of it this way to simplify it. And I love it when Source boils it down into simplified energy. So think of I know, and then the center of just under the breastbone, I feel, and then the base is I am. And what you know and what you believe will trigger how you feel, which will affect the outcome of how you are. That's your I am energy. So the challenges will show up in ways where you hear yourself saying, and I know I'm hearing it a lot lately, so it's obviously a collective conscious movement that's taking place. I hear a lot of people saying, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. And as a manifester, when you continue to declare that, you get to be right. You don't know. You can't know. You won't allow yourself to know. And immediately what ends up following that is, I don't care. Put your hand up if you've heard yourself saying that lately. I don't care. I've just had enough. I don't care. And like, I'm done, 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 and done. I don't care. Well, that is your emotional self saying, well, if you don't change your thoughts, I can't change how I react and how I feel. So we're both stuck. The I am is I am miserable. I am unhappy. I am in a state of lack. I am desperately looking for things that I need that I don't have. That's you manifesting that, the same as you can equate that to weather. It's the same thing. It's energy. So when you hear yourself saying, I don't know, what happens to the part of you, that mastery you, that is all knowing? What happens to your access to that part of you? Closes down. It goes, oh, we're playing that game today. Okay. If you say we don't know, then we'll pretend we don't know. And then you get to experience the not knowing of it, which is not fun. It's frustrating. And when we get into that state where we don't care, we get that spaced feeling of helplessness or hopelessness or sad, lonely, all those things of despair. And despair is the lowest frequency feeling that you can have. Well, why would we be getting ourselves triggered into that? Why would we allow ourselves to create and manifest that way? And the reason we do it is because there's obviously still things inside that are supporting it. There's beliefs that support it. There's memories that support it. There's feelings that support it. There's situations that may still be happening that support it. But if we don't change, neither does the outcome. So the piece of the puzzle as it's coming together is, the male's in I don't know, the female's in I don't care. And down at the root, which is the foundation of your being that should be standing in I am, all of a sudden is in a place of, I don't care that I don't know. And I don't know what I don't care about. How more stuck can you be than that? So mastery self is standing back, holding space and light and encouragement for you to wake up. and realize that you are holding yourself there. And it's time for you to awaken that part within you that is willing to just allow things to unfold, to heal, to move forward. The energy of allowing. Now imagine if you had a thought that came up that wasn't a loving thought. Imagine what would happen if you just allowed it to come and go. Not engage it. Don't use your fear, don't use your judgment, don't use your belief in that there's any truth in it. What if you just let that thought come and go? What would happen? We're going to experience that in our journey today. So it's just kind of setting you up for an experience where you can personally see your techniques, your methods, your path, your connection to your mastery self. And mastery self right now is saying, well, you can continue to pretend. That's all it is. You can pretend you don't know. But the truth is, you absolutely do. Every experience that you are in, you know exactly why you're there. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what the benefit and the blessing is, should you choose to allow it. And you know how to get yourself out of it. But only if you allow it. So, yeah. I think it's time that everyone had a moment in their healing chamber where you recognize how easy it is to dialogue with the mastery version of you that is all-knowing. That version of you is always present, always available, eternally, energetically, effortlessly, endlessly, always there. Do we always go there and dialogue? Do we ask questions? Do we ask for assistance or guidance? Not always, especially in the tough ones. We have this little nugget of stubbornness in us, and it's human nature, that it's like, no, I can do this myself. And if I keep doing it and I keep doing it and I keep doing it and I keep doing it, it's going to work out better. I'm pretty sure by now you're going to recognize that that's not really the way it works. It's not possible. If you keep doing the same formula with the same thought, having the same feelings, you're going to get the same test and results that are not necessarily very loving or healthy. Healthy factors into this too. Go ahead, Catherine.
I'll find my mouse.
The cat has it.
No, I told her dad's coming home, so she's sitting by the front door waiting for him. This week I've had 5 days by myself, and I knew that there was something coming, something big that was coming, and I actually had to go do a soul retrieval this week. And it was huge. I cried, I screamed, but I did it.
Yeah.
And after I did it, I had an accident in 2000, so I've had the one knee replacement. The other knee is being tired of being the strong one, so it's been acting up for the last 3 months. Yesterday, I went out and I walked upstairs the way I would normally walk upstairs, instead of one step at a time. And it's just like a huge cloud is just being lifted.
Yeah.
Once I went and I did what I knew that I had to do, and I got it done, and I sat with it, I dealt with it, I brought it in. I didn't make friends with it and ask it to move in, but
Ask it to move along.
it makes a big difference when you can actually take the time to go and do that.
Yeah.
And I went and I retrieved a part of my younger self that was stuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah, these pieces to the puzzle are what is actually inching us and nurturing us towards absolute and complete freedom. We have been living the opposite of it in every possible way. Now it is time to embody the energy, the essence, and the joy of freedom. And it's not that somebody fought a war and set you free. Nobody came and gave you the answers. I mean, a few people have made suggestions, and that's okay. We're all here to help each other. But only you can take those moments and those feelings and those beliefs and understand what they were actually designed to gift you with. Once you understand that the game is all about opening the gift, we're less resistant and we're less reluctant to go there. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable the first day it happened. Whatever defining moment that was, incredibly hurtful or painful or difficult or challenging or devastating. We've all been through some pretty hairy canary moments. Well, keeping yourself in that moment every day since then, we're the ones doing the punishing. We're the ones doing um, the painful process. We have options, and believe it or not, suffering isn't one that we should be choosing anymore. When we choose to suffer, we are in the energy of sacrificing our happiness, our love, our well-being, our contributions to the collective. We are hurting more in the days post-event of whatever defining moments we've been in. We've done more damage ourselves than anybody has ever done to us. And it's time to own some of that, take responsibility for that, and to accept that the only person that can really set you free is your own soul, understanding why you've been so dedicated to this. Why have you been so committed to allowing it and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, hoping somehow you're going to get a better result or a different outcome? Why? Why would you do that? Obviously, it has to be a very important reason, or we wouldn't do it, because we're not that into consciously suffering anyway. Apparently subconsciously we've committed to it on every level. So it's releasing yourself from that foundation of sacrifice and suffer. That is part of the matrix. And that is a part of the matrix that keeps us at the bottom of our frequency range as much as possible right now. It's like you can see yourself climbing up the wall of the matrix, and you can see daylight, and you can see you're almost at the top, and you can see, it's right there. And you just almost get there, and bang, you get knocked down with something that emotionally upsets you or traumatizes you. And the more often we do that now, the more angry and upset we get. We used to get sort of sad and depressed and feel sorry for ourselves. Well, the male side of us, the warrior side of us, it's like he's had enough. He's tired of climbing the mountain just to get to the top to get knocked off. And she's tired of, carrying the whole load all the way up the mountain. I mean, he's leading the way, but she's carrying the baggage. They're tired of it. And there's no reason for it anymore. So when they do get knocked down, there's a very good reason that they needed to be knocked down. They're knocked down to the bottom of the frequency. Why is that? Because inside each and every one of us is the spark of the divine, that pure light, that pure energy, that pure love that we possess inside. And the only way we get to access it and use it is when we allow ourselves to put the baggage down and stop being willing to suffer. So if you're in a fall down, get up situation, pat yourself on the back and say, okay, now that I'm back at the bottom, now that I'm down and out, I'm going to take a moment, a breath, a shift in my consciousness, and I'm going to lay down everything that isn't mine. That's a big one, because most women carry it not just for themselves, but for their children, their family, their parents, the whatever. If it's not yours, you cannot resolve it. No matter what you do, it's not yours. So that's one of the first things that we'll be laying down. The second thing is that when you think of bondage and being chained to something that isn't love, when are you going to say enough? When are you going to say, I don't need to repeat this, I don't need to continue doing this? When are you going to step up and say, I've had enough? And not from a I'm pissed off enoughness, but from a place of I've had enough to recognize and realize with every part of my being, I don't deserve this. I never have. I surrender and leave it here. And the moment you recognize that and declare that, the rising up of your frequency will immediately start to happen. You will feel lighter, mainly because you've, left a lot of the heavy load behind, but also the lightness of spirit, the lightness of heart, the lightness of the freedom to just feel whatever you need to feel. Whether you're rising up or going down, feel the freedom that comes with being able to feel it, to heal it. And don't resent it, don't regret it. If you need to feel a little uncomfortable for part of the way, then feel uncomfortable. Do your best uncomfortable that you possibly can. Expand uncomfortable as big and wide and badass, blow it up. Blow uncomfortable up until you can't ignore it and you can't miss it. And ask yourself, is this something worth carrying into the new reality? No, it isn't. And it can be as simple as that. But it really is, again, you engaging and connecting to the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-being, absolute divine part of you that will walk you through this every step of the way. Not just part of the way, not just get you almost there, not just get you to that, the 99 step to the top of the mountain and then go, oopsie. Divine self will guide you, nurture you, uplift you, support you, and love you all the way to the top. And that is where we are meant to be. If we are going to be the leaders of the new reality, if we are the ones that are meant to shift the collective consciousness, then let's get busy and do that. Let's commit ourselves to the rising of everything divine, the rising of everything that is love, and let the rest of it fall away as it needs to and as it's meant to. Let it fall away. Don't let it follow you. Let it go. The other thing that you may find in our journey is that you have an entourage. Well, what do you mean by entourage? It means you have a support system, you have a support cast, you have a support team, you have all kinds of support on every level. On the highest level, your support team is the one encouraging you, inspiring you, guiding you forward. On the lower level, your team is the temptations, the judgers, the instigators, the fearers, the agitators, the frustrators. You have that entourage too. I mean, those are energies that are embodied into people that surround you because that's a role you ask them to play. If you're going to learn the game, you have to have people playing the role so that you get the best possible experience. So your entourage is going to be with you, and at some point in our journey, you're going to be able or asked to let go of the entourage that is there to pull you down. Because you really do not need to be pulled down anymore. And that doesn't mean that, you're kicking them off the track and blowing them up on the path and blasting them into the universe with energy. It simply means respectfully honor and cherish the role that they have played and surrender the connection that you hold with them. And the one thing that happens in a tug of war, we've shared this before, that the quickest way to end a tug of war is to let go. Whatever happens to those on the other end is for them to experience. It's for them to embody and move forward or downward with. Your job in the letting go is to instantly trust with all your heart and soul that there is a rising up taking place. That this is not a test. This is not a game at this point. This is you stepping further into your embodiment of the divine and releasing anything that is a contradiction to that. Anything that doesn't complement it needs to go. And it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, be respectful and peaceful with every aspect of what you see on your journey. And just remember that the person that put that journey together, that designed that journey we're taking today, is you. You designed it. You will put the things in position and in place and in front of you on the path that we'll be on. You orchestrated the whole thing, and not so that you could trick yourself into failing. That's the old way. This is to inspire you into the success of completing something that is going to open up the quantum field in ways that you cannot even imagine yet. And we don't need to imagine it yet. Let our imaginations take a rest. They've been working overtime. It's just take a breath, take a rest, and let your imagination just be still. And if the stillness is like today, you know, watching those beautiful clouds just passing by and seeing how life itself is, you know, stormy one minute and then sunny the next. You're designing your journey, your future, your potential, and ultimately the fullness of everything that you are here to embody. You're designing all of it. What do you want it to look like? And don't even concentrate on other people being a part of it right now, because those that are on the leading edge really don't have a lot of awareness, or shouldn't have. If your focus is on other people, then you're totally getting distracted. It's focus on your purpose, your path, your power, your position in it. Where are you standing in your journey that you designed? And just love yourself. Go, wow, look at me now. Who knew? You know, when we take all of the illusions and all of the shells and the layers and the crud and the crap away from our consciousness, we're pretty extraordinary beings doing an amazing job. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to move into our journey, and I just want you to get yourself as comfortable as you can in a position where you can actually relax deep into the pelvic center. Make sure your feet are on the floor if you can. We want some grounding, and we want the pelvic cradle to be comfortable. Wiggle yourself around, move yourself around, shift yourself around until you feel that, okay, that's good. And using the in-breath, bring that breath all the way in and fill the entire inner sanctum of you, all the way down to that pelvic cradle. And then in the next nice deep breath that you're taking in, just see the energy going down your legs into your feet. And with the next relaxing breath, take it in, filling that entire body and being that you are, down through the legs, all the way down through your feet, into the earth. And today we're going to tap into the earth grid for an update. And the earth grid has been working very hard at restructuring, reforming, reconfiguring all kinds of energies. And we're just going to connect in with those right now. And think of it kind of like an electrical circuit that is being brought online with the God force. So you want to tap into the circuitry and the energy, the electricity, and the essence and energy of the God force in the earth. There's a whole network of communication that is internal, it is external, and it's eternal. This energy is one that will support everything that is unfolding on the planet, what is unfolding within you, and what is unfolding for humanity. We are all getting connected to that core essence and energy. Using the breath, breathe into the God force, a willingness to allow it to fully connect, allowing the flow of that energy to fully activate. Nice deep sigh as you feel the connection. Feel the release and the relief to be finally connected at that depth of the divine. And now with each breath that you're bringing in, as you are releasing a breath, see the release of the breath opening up your pathway, your journey that stands between where you are in that moment that your heart is beating right here, right now. Open the pathway and look down the pathway at your mountain, your journey, your destiny. And at the very top of the mountain is this incredible bright light that is inviting you and encouraging you to take the journey. The first thing they're asking is, what do you think that light is? Now feel. Do you know beyond all knowing and feel connected to that light? Do you care to even make the effort and use your energy to move towards that light? Very, very few steps in front of you. There is an outline of you in your higher state, your higher self. It's simply an outline. Energy is radiating out from that outline, but the outline itself is empty. It's waiting for you to take the steps with your breath, ever so gently, respectfully, reverently stepping forward until you fill that space in the outline of your higher self. Again, nice deep breaths in. This is where you activate the art of allowing. Allow yourself to trust and believe that this version of you in your higher state is real. It's not an image, it's not your imagination, it's not something that is a glimmer of possibility. This is the embodiment of you in your higher state. And as you look further along the path that leads up the mountain, you will see many, many, many souls standing along the path. They do not have permission to stand on the path any longer, for each at some point has stood in your way, has blocked your way, has prevented you from making your way up the mountain, and they no longer have permission to do that, but they are being asked to join along the path between where you stand in your higher self state and the light at the top of the mountain. With every inch of energy and effort that you have, see yourself walking forward, passing by, moving through, stepping beyond, rising up the mountain. And as you pass by all of these support people that played roles in your journey and in your energy, gifting. As you pass by them, send them your love and watch as they disintegrate into light. Send them your appreciation for playing the role the way they did, no matter what, and watch them disintegrate. Offer respect for everything that took place, the role that you played and the role that they played. It was all for the same reason and the same purpose. It was all moving you in the same direction, which is forward and upward. And the higher you rise up the pathway on the mountain, the more you will begin to feel pressure that the steps that you are taking require more effort than they should. Your feet moving slower than they should. And that is you holding thoughts and beliefs about the old version of you and the way things used to be, the way things were. Allow those footsteps to take on the energy and pull it from your feet. Pull the old energy from your souls. Pull it from your body and your being. And you will feel it harder and harder to take those steps, but don't stop. Allow yourself to trust that the more that is pulled from you and the higher you rise, the more you expand into your higher state of awareness. And at this point, with each breath, old emotions are going to rise up and flood the path. At first, it's just damp, like walking in the dew. And then it's like splashing in puddles. And then it's stepping into a stream. And then it's wading into the river. And then inside the river, your feet can no longer touch the bottom. Don't stop. Trust you are still on the path. And as the river spills into the lakes, allow the lakes to be filled with your love. Let that be the emotion that you release. Let that be the emotion that you feel. And the lakes grow wider and deeper and continue on until you are almost at the top of your mountain, where you can see all around the mountain is a huge ocean. That is the ocean of emotion that not just you as a soul have contributed to, but the entire collective of humanity has been pouring into the oceans all their emotions. Allow that connection to just filter and put love into the ocean, into the collective, into the energy field. And rising up within you as you release and bless those emotions is an all-knowing state of how important it is that you complete your journey today to the top of your mountain. The very epitome of your soul, your light, your love. That is what the top of the mountain is holding and hosting for you right here, right now. And as you step onto the very peak of the mountain, check in with how it feels. Does it feel exhausting? Or does it feel uplifting? Does it feel peaceful? Does it feel powerful? Do you feel a sense of accomplishment? Is there a peace within your spirit that just knows that this moment, this day, this time was designed perfectly by you? And in your perfected state, right here, right now, the awareness is very clear that you are no greater than or less than any other being in creation. You are no greater than the elements. You are no less than the elements. But you have the power to move and maneuver and manage the elements. You are no greater or less than any other soul, whether it be angelic or demonic. You are no less than or greater than. And yet you have the power to choose, and by your choice, you embody the best version of you that reflects love. Knowing that it took all of those energies and all of those experiences to bring you here and now. That's a powerful moment. Do you trust that there is a reason that you were asked to come to the top of this mountain that you built and you designed on this day? Ask within yourself and that connection to source. As you open your arms and your heart and your soul and your light to creation, and reflect just as much light from within you as there is light coming into you. Hold that light. Ask whatever it is that your soul is requiring to verify and validate this moment for you. You may ask, why am I here? What is my purpose? How do I proceed from this moment on? Whatever it is upon your heart, ask it. And know that in the stillness of the next few minutes, you will hear it clearly. And feel the energy moving in and out with each breath that you take. As you energetically expand and contract. As you continue to rise beyond and above the mountain and move into the field of the collective. And as you look around in the field of the collective, you will start witnessing different souls popping up here and there, all around. It would seem at this time a very small percent of humanity in this level of the collective conscious. But our role is to simply send out an invitation from that place. Send it to the hearts of your family. Invite them. Inspire them. Send an invitation from the heart to your friends, to those that you have come to know and trust. And now send that same elevated awareness to those that you call your enemies, that you do not trust. Send them the same invitation. the same inspiration. Now filling your heart to capacity and overflowing. Standing in the collective where everything is instantly kinetic. Send your love to the darkness that holds humanity imprisoned in a slumber that they need to wake up from. Send love and watch as the darkness recedes, diminishes, and dissolves. And all of those who are still asleep are left standing. Just send them love. The invitation of the ages, the energy of the collective, the connection to the quantum field. And in that collective state of consciousness that we're in right now, we share the blessings of gratitude and thankfulness. We share the essence and the energy of creation. We share the identity and the unity of our divinity. We embrace and accept ourselves as incredibly beautiful souls, doing the best that we can each and every day, no matter how that looks, no matter how that feels. Keep in your awareness, I know, I care what I know, and I know that I can care even more. Take a moment of your own gratitude and thankfulness prayer, and we will begin our journey back into this moment. Back into the breath that you are taking in and out right here, right now. Moving into that energetic connection that we have with the earth. Letting that connection rise up within us. Holding the energy and the light of that mountaintop experience. And just breathing in the joy of the journey. And being able to take the journey all the way to the top and beyond. Higher self is not leaving your presence. Higher self is now integrating into your body and your being in that all-knowing, all-being, all-seeing state. Simply just embrace and allow. And accept that it will make a very big difference in you and how you proceed from here on. As we take in a breath together, nice deep breath, and as we release, we're just coming back into the moment and opening our eyes. I think we lost loving Catherine at the top of the mountain. All right. Is there anything that anyone would like to share at this point? As we know, being able to speak and share some of what you were able to experience actually anchors it more deeply into your heart and soul. So who would like to go first? That was a long journey because we're at 3 o'clock already. And if anybody needs to leave, I totally understand that. But for those who would like to stay and share, you're welcome to do that. These are important times and important days. So let's celebrate them together. No? No one's ready to share?
Mm.
Okay, we'll go to Janet.
Hi.
Hi.
So in my life, starting at 11, I had some unfortunate doctors that did not do right by me, orthodontists, dentists, and caused harm to me. So in this visualization, I sent them love, and then I saw them disintegrate and go into the light. And I'm just really hoping that that will disintegrate some of my resentment and help me to move on from here and create a more positive, healthy body.
Yeah, trust. It's not hope, it's trust at this point. You got to activate it all. Give it the gusto.
And I trust that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Janet. All right, I thought I saw another hand up. Where did I see it? No, everybody's a little blissed out right now. Oh, okay, Diane, go ahead.
That was so multifaceted. I can't remember everything, but
Yeah.
it was amazing. It was lovely. But I remember going up the mountain and kind of pushing everyone to the side that was on my path and thanking them with love, and then kind of just kind of gently slipped down the mountain as I was going up. And then as we were getting to the emotional stuff, there was sort of wind stirring up dirt and mud and, well, more dirt, going around and around. And then as it was getting harder, I was stuck in mud and kind of plodding through that thickly, and it got harder and harder. And then I kind of went off from your words, but
Mhm.
instead of a river, I was in a swamp. And as it got deeper, I had to start trying to swim through it. And then as I was sending it love, the emotions and everything, the swamp got a little lighter in both color. It cleared, kind of the silt settled to the bottom, and so it was easier to swim to the other side. And when I got to the other side, I kind of plopped on the shore and exhausted and drained of energy. And then as we continued up the mountain and joined with our higher self, or the outline line, oh gosh, I can't remember everything, but it was kind of like putting on a green suit of heart light chakra, and then looking down and seeing, oh right, the darkness, the darkness of the collective kind of around the world, and sending them light, and it lightened up the murkiness, lightened up the darkness. And I can't remember everything, but it was, wow, quite the journey.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Yeah, there's so many
Thanks.
things that we still have carried, and for whatever reason, we've chosen to continue to carry them. Obviously, we felt it was important, but there comes a time when we just need to let it go and rise up. And, as we know, struggle is optional. Stop choosing struggle. Surrender. Just enjoy the fact that you're awake, you're aware, and that life is so much better when we continue to pour our heart and soul in a loving way into it, instead of a resentful way or a fearful way or a judgmental way. There's so many better options than some of the ones we've been formerly using, still respecting they were needed and necessary. Okay, we'll take one more and then we'll do a little closing prayer of gratitude. Anyone else? No, everybody's in a happy state. Oh, okay, Jen, go ahead.
I'll just mention really quickly, after going up the mountain, I have a tapestry cloak on, and I'm holding my magic wand going up the mountain. And then I surrounded by water. I go on a paddle boat, take myself on a paddle boat ride. Then this big boat ship arrives, and I look up, and it's all you guys. Yeah. I see some faces that look, 369 faces, ladies in the boat.
Yeah.
And it's a big ship, and what I heard was all aboard the Love Boat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was a TV program called that, The Love Boat,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we're
Okay,
kind of
right.
creating a new one.
Reminded me of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a great visual to use for our closing, Jennifer. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that. So yeah, but just trust that things are unfolding very quickly right now, and it just is what it is as the momentum is moving out through all the different layers that it needs to reach all of the places that it can bless. It's taking its time, and I'm actually kind of at peace with that because I know that when things are done gently and meticulously and carefully, great things come of it. So we're in some incredible days and times right now. So yeah, let's just do our prayer of gratitude and thankfulness for the journey that we're able to take together each week, knowing that at a soul level, we are all blessed and benefit from the presence of each other. And we just ask that the Creator of all that is holy and divine continue to bless us with inspiration and direction. And we know that from this moment on, everything that we participate in, everything we contribute to, and everything that we manifest is done from a place of love, appreciation, and true gratitude that we have the ability to do that each and every day and in as many ways as possible. So we choose to go forward with a joyful heart, a lighter step, a heart that is beating in the collective to bring it all together and be something truly extraordinary. It's time, and we are so glad that we have arrived in this time. And so it is.
And so it is.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, all